axial piston pump is a pump that has a number of pistons in a circular array within a cylinder block. There are two designs are most relevant, the swash plate configuration and the bent axis configuration. In both cases, the angle the swash plate or the bent axis mechanism determines the effective stroke of the piston. Bent axis pumps design. In a bent axis piston pump, the cylinder block turns with the shaft but at an offset angle. The piston rods are attached to the drive shaft flange by ball joints. Most bent axis piston pumps consist of a few basic components: port plate, spherical siding surface, drive flange, drive shaft, shaft seal, flange, retaining rings, housing, bearing, piston, axis, cylinder block. The bent axis mechanism is a pumping machine, the displacement pistons of which are arranged at an angle to the drive shaft axis. As the drive shaft rotates, the cylinder block is caused to rotate by the pistons. The pistons move up and down within the cylinder block bores. The length of stroke is dependent on the angle of the bent axis. Fluid is fed to the low pressure, then, as the pistons moves, delivered into the high pressure port. Swash plate piston pump design. Most swash plate piston pumps consist of a few basic components: flange, shaft seal, bearing, swash plate, drive shaft, piston, cylinder block, housing, port plate. The swash plate mechanism is a displacement mechanism, the displacement pistons of which are arranged axial to the drive shaft. The reaction force of the pistons is carried by the swash plate. As the drive shaft rotates, the cylinder block is driven by means of spline. The pistons move up and down within the cylinder block bores. This movement is dependent on the angle to the swash plate. Fluid is fed to the pump via the low pressure side, then as the pistons moves, delivered into high pressure line.